Hey, welcome to another Vanspective. This is TVH, and this here's Sammy.
Hi.
And we're going to talk about a movie today that we grabbed because of two things. First, it looked like an Alien Predator hybrid B-movie knockoff, and it had Michael Ironside. Look at this fucking cover. I mean, how could you go wrong with this cover? Were you not expecting something awesome?
No, I did. I thought it was going to be fantastic.
But no! How could this be bad? You got Michael Ironside. He's an acting god. Scanners, V, Top Gun, Total Recall, hell, even Highlander 2, The Quickening, which is an awful, awful movie. Still, Michael Ironside does it so well. He plays his part so well. IMDb credit him at 216 roles. 216 roles. Not including, and that voice acting work and video games. This dude is amazing. This movie should have been awesome, at least on a bad scale. What do you think?
I had no clue who he was at first. I mean, what can I say? But you told me how awesome he was at being a villain.
He is.
And in some of the movies he had been in, even though I haven't seen a lot of them, but you had me completely sold.
Thank you. Thank you. Instead, we get this.
Get a hold of yourself, Lieutenant Commander. Don't you take a powder on me now.
Not to worry.
I picked the wrong movie to introduce anybody to Michael Ironside. I got 3 reasons right here.
The targets are Dr. Sergei Petrov, Shadowrock Securities International, and the Just Rite Sugar Company.
It fucking sucked. Okay, it's not quite Birdemic bad, but it's really not too far from it. Even Hellraiser 9 had more substance than this fucking movie.
Yeah, and as far as the alien on the cover goes...
What a joke.
No. Instead, this movie focuses on...
The targets are Dr. Sergei Petrov, Shadowrock Securities International, and the Just Rite Sugar Company.
I can't... For some reason, this particular... Right in the beginning of the movie, this clip right here, I think this particular beginning scene bothered me because it's supposed to make you interested and hook you into the story. And immediately when this popped up, the Russian, Shadowrock Security, and the Just Rite Sugar Company, I think I looked over and went, oh, fuck. I believe was about what it was. It was just, oh, fuck, this is going to suck. And then again... You got Michael Ironside. No, it's not a trick. He's not going to flip and be a bad guy. No, he is kind of the hero. He's in this movie for about 5 minutes. He gets top billing. He's in this movie for 5 minutes. And I'll get into that later.
There's a connection between a biochemist, an elite mercenary group, and a sugarcane mill.
You can't handle the truth!
No, really, tell me. I want the truth. Well, actually, not really, but I'm sure you're going to tell me anyways. Actually, I'm kind of curious how these 3 things are going to make any semblance of a plot.
Yeah, my life would just be better not knowing.
Everyone's life would be better not knowing.
Colonel Briggs, he's involved in this.
Here's another problem with this movie, is they bring up characters like we're supposed to know who they are, and then either they never show up, or when they do, it's so late in the movie that you don't care, you don't even remember they were introduced. Like, you go, who is this guy?
Yeah, there's this character, Duncan, that they bring up and they talk about a lot. And on IMDb, he's listed as the lead scenic.
I don't even know what a lead scenic is.
I don't know. I was trying to figure out where he came in the movie. Yeah, he doesn't.
No. So, and honestly, we could go on for hours about how many characters they talk about and either don't properly introduce or you never see in the movie. So, you know what? Let's just keep going. Let's just keep going.
Yeah.
Where do I begin? Well, Hannah.
Enter another pointless character who has no real bearing on the movie.
Yeah, but at least you see her.
Yeah, but they talk about her like she's a main character.
Yeah, that she's not.
This is how we're introduced to Hannah. No real explanation or anything. You just see her running around and hiding.
Is that a chocolate bar on her face?
It is a sugar company. Anyways, she's hiding from guys on four-wheelers. She runs into this shack, and then this happens.
Look at your arm, Hannah.
Yep, she's dead.
Alright, let's just skip ahead to the real main characters of this movie.
We've got the Russian, the clueless bitch, and the hard-ass head of security.
Yeah, along with the evil president of the corrupt sugar company and the real hero of the movie, I guess, Mall Cop Dad. So we got our characters, but what's the point? What's the plot? Where is it leading up? What is the point of this goddamn movie?
Imagine making sugar more addictive than cocaine and caffeine combined.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Except with many complications.
With many complications.
What complications, you might add?
Infection, possible airborne.
No threat. Since batch 9, we have found 0 occurrences of mutation. Infection can only occur when digesting tainted sugar.
It makes them fucking zombies. It's a fucking zombie movie. You know that awesome alien that's on the cover? It's not in this fucking movie. It's just human test subjects from tainted sugar.
So how does this tainted sugar that's supposed to be more addictive turn people into zombies?
But 13FK strand additive is mutated.
Why is it changing? It's a chemical. It's not alive.
It was. But the virus has found it and is using it to adapt and change.
13FK strand additive plus a virus, of course.
It's always 13FK strand additive that's the culprit. Always! So anyway, let's move on here. So clueless bitch pulls out a missing persons flyer of someone we don't know or has been mentioned in the movie yet.
What follows is the most confusing flashback ever. Not to mention unnecessary.
This is Ryan, and these are our crack whores. This right here.
Yes, because this movie really needed crack whores.
But this movie does need crack whores, and they tell us why.
Runaway junkies. Braylon's foolproof plan. Bums, druggies, ex-cons, illegals and the such. 'Cause nobody comes looking for you if you're already gone. Well, that night, Duncan and Miller were in the slums. Their choice? A runaway junkie. They assumed Hannah was a junkie. Well, she wasn't. And they definitely didn't anticipate Ryan.
You have Hannah, and you have crack whores. Hannah, crack whores. How did they confuse Hannah for these crack whores? These are the most crack whoriest crack whores in crack whore kingdom. And you got chick in a sweater that she bought from Macy's.
I've seen a crack whore outside of Macy's.
Not the point. Continue the flashback.
So they confuse Hannah with the crack whores, and they're getting ready to shoot her with a tranquilizer dart, which then leads to another flashback explaining how the Russian used to work for the CIA, doing horrible experiments, and is now working with the sugar company. Then they shoot forward to the guys at the sugar company, capturing Hannah and Ryan because he saw everything.
Then they shoot forward a little bit again, still in the flashback, to the head of security, Skype or whatever his name is, getting yelled at for capturing both Hannah and Ryan, Ryan turning out to be his secretary's brother.
That's why we pick bums and druggies and ex-cons and illegals and the such. So that no one comes looking for them when they're gone.
My head hurts.
I think mine exploded. There's so much there that didn't need to be. First of all, you didn't need this flashback. Second of all, you didn't need all of this in the same flashback. And third of all, this just feels like filler. There's so much that was already going on. I mean, you had the characters, you kind of, the movie started to go somewhere, they're talking about the virus, they're talking about the infections, you know, you already had the girl escaping, and then this flashback happens, and no pun intended, moves the movie backwards instead of forwards. And the Russian, he didn't need to be explained. He could just be the mysterious Russian. That's fine.
Yeah, but instead, he is a defective Russian that was in the CIA, and the sugar company took him from the CIA. How did they know he was in the CIA? How did they know how to contact him?
Google? Facebook?
This movie creates way more questions than answers. Plus, we could have just talked about Ryan and that he was missing. It would have been much more of a shock if they would have just found him there instead of showing us already that he was kidnapped. We all know that this is going to end up with them finding where these mutants are.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's just, again, there's so much unnecessary scenes and characters, and you know what? Let's just move forward. Let's just keep going with this. I don't want to be here for 3 centuries figuring this out.
The next 45 minutes of the movie feel like filler.
Right, so we're just going to jump through this real quickly. The flashback ends with clueless bitch still looking at the photo of her brother, but now she's in a park somewhere or something. So Skype comes up to talk to her, and they, I guess, have some weird flirting thing going on that we really didn't know was flirting until actually the end of the movie, because it's so awkward and very forced, and the dialogue's just terrible. Anyway, Skype has to leave because there's an escaped mutant eating sugar canes.
So they shoot it, of course. And then the guy from the beginning is just looking at stuff with his binoculars.
Yeah, and then clueless bitch starts getting information about the sinister acts at the Just Rite Sugar Company, with getting information downloaded to her by someone named Cinderella.
The job is
So clueless bitch decides to go to the president with the information that was sent to her, because, of course, it had to be a misunderstanding, and nothing could be going on out of place at the Just Rite Sugar Company.
But there is. So the president sends Skype to scare her because he can. But Skype does a piss poor job of this because she shows up to work the next day anyways. Meanwhile, Mall Cop Dad is chain-smoking and drinking himself into a stupor because he's really regretting being cast in this movie right about now. And then Clueless Bitch shows up, and we find out that Mall Cop Dad is actually an alcoholic. And they have an argument and some exposition that really goes nowhere.
And to add insult to injury, Mall Cop Dad goes to work the next day to find out he's pretty much useless. In another scene, Clueless Bitch gets more information from Cinderella. This time, the information she gets takes her to an abandoned building where she finds a picture of her brother. Putting 2 and 2 together, she figures out that Ryan was kidnapped by the evil sugar company and is being kept in an abandoned sugar mill.
So she goes back to Mall Cop Dad to tell him about this information, only to discover that he's now going to kill himself for being in this movie. What is supposed to be a touching father-daughter moment is ruined by clunky dialogue and high school drama play acting. When it's all said and done, they both decide to go to the abandoned sugar mill under the cover of darkness, only to leave, to sneak in at another time.
Then 2 foreign guys show up because they're interested in buying this addictive sugar. The evil president decides it'd be a great idea to give them a tour of the facility, mutants and all.
Mall Cop Dad and Clueless Bitch have decided to stow away in some random truck that they somehow know is going to the abandoned sugar mill, just so they could kick this guy in the face.
As it turns out, the Russian never did get the 13FK strand additive unfucked, so all the sugar is going to turn everyone who eats it into mutants, and somehow 7,100 tons of this tainted sugar has already been shipped, and yet there was no investors or buyers.
And in a surprise turn of events, Skype kills the Russian, finds Clueless Bitch and Mall Cop Dad, and reveals he was Cinderella all along.
All the while, the evil president of the sugar company is giving his grand tour. Here, he's showing the foreigners someone who's supposedly not infected, but actually is because no one in this facility knows how to do their job. Next up on Willy Wonka's Grand Tour is an infected crack whore, because that sells addictive sugar to foreign investors.
The next thing I'm going to show you is by far the worst special effect I've ever seen in a movie made in 2008.
Tenant remaining. He can't hurt you. You can't be infected unless you eat the formula sugar he ate.
So, Skype takes Mall Cop Dad and Clueless Bitch to Ryan, and they begin their great escape.
Back at the tour, they decide to show them yet another infected mutant for plot convenience. And it escapes, of course, attacking one of the security guards who puts the building on the lockdown.
And this lockdown somehow does the opposite, and more mutants have escaped. Mainly the ones from the Reject Ward territory.
That's Reject Ward territory.
Hilarity ensues when they kill one of the zombies.
At this point, the movie shows both groups trying to get out of the abandoned mill.
Both groups run into each other, of course, and one of the security guards shoots Mall Cop Dad, and then the evil president shoots Skype, leaving the four of them in the building while the others escape.
And outside the building, the two foreigners basically tell the evil president to go fuck himself, and just because he can, he shoots and kills both of them.
Finally, after all this time, the main event. Enter Michael Ironside.
Basically, he tells the evil president that he's not putting up with his shit. The evil president keeps bringing up this character Briggs, who we haven't even seen yet.
Yeah, not sure why they keep bringing him up. Anyways, let's listen to Michael Ironside be awesome.
Understanding.
I'm in charge now. Colonel Briggs is no longer a factor. I call the shots. And this ends here and now. Dallas,
It's a science. It's a business.
take him to the command center.
You can't do this.
Yeah, well, you watch me. Listen up, man! We cannot let this infection get to the population. You kill everything that moves. Now get to it.
And how did the other actors respond?
Yes, sir.
Fucking sad.
Back to the Hapless Four. They finally escape, and the Shadowrock people don't realize they're not infected, so they get shot at and they hide.
Then the film cuts to this dude. Who the hell is this dude?
Against me? Looks like you backed the wrong horse, Jensen.
This is fucking Briggs, the big badass they've been talking about the whole movie.
I don't know who this actor is. I don't know where they found him. But his acting is fucking atrocious. I mean, just listen to this guy talk.
To turn my men against me.
He's taking my bill.
Get another one.
Gage has taken your shadow.
Don't go soft on me now, Braylon. This business venture of ours will continue.
Then the film makes an awkward cut back to the Brady Bunch hiding and regrouping.
Oh look, Ryan's infected, but he doesn't feel the need to tell anybody.
And also, Skype, this entire time, had a device hooked up to his cell phone to blow the whole damn place up. Even though they just escaped, they're too far away from the facility to make it work. So they decide they're gonna have to sneak back to the facility, which is 20 feet away, to blow it up.
Yeah. Also during this time, Michael Ironside and the Shadowrock team are now inside the building, killing the infected. And while this is all going on, Michael Ironside is busy maintaining his badass status.
Pittman, thank you.
Briggs shows up and kills Michael Ironside's buddy.
Pittman! No!
Michael Ironside finds Pittman, and being the amazing genius that he is, he knows it's Briggs who killed him, then goes back to killing random zombies.
Good evening, I'm Ted Koppel. Surely everyone knows by now that Buckwheat is dead. But for those of you who have not seen the videotape of Buckwheat being shot, let's take a look.
let's not forget, we got 4 people trying to trek 20 feet to another building. But before that can happen, Ryan decides it's prime time to tell Mall Cop Dad that he himself is infected. And since Skype's dying, the 2 of them decide to drive to the facility instead of the 4 of them walking there so it can be blown up.
See? That was flirting in the beginning.
Anyways, the 2 of them get in the car and take off. At this point of the movie, it's pretty much the climax for me. It's what they've been kind of alluding to and been hyping the whole movie, which is the fight between Michael Ironside and this guy Briggs. Basically, what you're going to see is one of the most lopsided acting performances ever. Here you have Michael Ironside. Amazing. And then you have this dude who's never acted before in his life, I think. And it is just sad. At one point, you can look into Michael Ironside's eyes and just see the regret that he has even being involved in this. So, we're just going to watch it in its entirety, and then we're going to forget it ever happened.
Took a chunk of me, Briggs.
I'll take you piece by piece if I have to.
Briggs, I'm out of ammunition. I'm stepping out. Huh? I'm done.
You know how long I've been waiting for this cage? You think you can take Shadowrock from me? I made Shadowrock. It's mine!
You gonna stand there and piss and moan all night, or you gonna take the shot, huh?
I'm gonna tear you limb from limb.
Surprise, huh? Yeah, life's full of surprises, isn't it? Just like one in the chamber.
Because there wasn't any action during the first 70 minutes of the movie, they're trying to make up for it. So, of course, there's a chase scene between the Dukes of Hazzard and the Law. They finally get close enough and blow the whole place to hell, the 2 of them dying in the process.
Look at that amazing CGI work, and all its glorious splendor. Vast upon it. Love it. It is amazing.
Things get wrapped up pretty quickly now. The evil president gets mauled by a mutant. Michael Ironside lets Mall Cop Dad and Clueless Bitch go. And we're left with sequel bait.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Okay, so the only good thing that I found about this movie was Michael Ironside.
Yeah.
You know, it was definitely not the best movie to introduce me to him as a character or as an actor, but it definitely showed me that he is very talented and can make an awful movie a little bit better.
Yeah, that's true.
He may not be playing his famous villain role, but he definitely makes this movie slightly more interesting and slightly less painful to watch.
Yeah, you know, obviously Michael Ironside's the high point of this movie. In my opinion, though, you know, the main culprit or the main problem with this movie was the script. You know, this is not a good movie, nor was it ever going to be a good movie.
No.
The thing is, though, is that besides the actor who does Briggs, honestly, the acting really isn't all that bad. Mm-mm. You know, I mean, these aren't A-listers, but this definitely isn't the worst acting I've ever seen.
No.
So, you know, even good actors in these roles could not have made this any better.
No.
And the main problem with that is all comes down to the writing and the script. Mm-hmm. You know, you had a lot of, through most of the movie, it's repeating the same information, going over stuff. Repeating the information, going back over it. So the movie is, the whole script and the writing is spinning its wheels the whole time. Mm-hmm. And isn't really getting anywhere, and then about the last 20 minutes of the movie, things just go to this crazy speed. So then it just becomes awkward and clunky. I mean, things are wrapped up rather quickly. It's just everything's happening at the end, where had the actors been given time to develop the characters instead of just repeating point A, point B, point C constantly, repeating the same lines constantly. If they actually had moved somewhere, if they actually had done stuff, it could have been at least an entertaining bad movie, you know. But then it gets to that level where there's, in my opinion, like there's entertaining bad movies, and then there's just bad movies. And because of the script, this one just sadly falls into a really bad movie, and it's sad to see someone like Michael Ironside accepting roles in something like this, like reading that script and going, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
You know. Anyways, that's it. That's all we got for this episode of the Vanspective. I want to thank you for watching. This is TVH and Sammy, and we'll see you in the next Vanspective.